The embroidery accessories you're going to be needing is what I'm going to show you next. So starting from the beginning, we want to pull out your sensor cue foot. That is going to be our primary foot for embroidery. You want embroidery needles. They are sharper, and that way they really make a good pierce and complete stitch. Really nice. Don't forget though, when you embroider on knit fabrics, you do want to use a ballpoint needle. You're going to need a curved pair of embroidery scissors. These will allow you to trim really close to the final stitching as needed. Now in your accessory pack, you do have a pair of those. You also have some thread, some stabilizer, and some fabric to get you started. And I'm going to show you how to use the clips that come in this pack when we go to hoop up our fabric. You also have your straight stitch throat plate. I do recommend that you put that on. That needle will be stabilized nicely as it only can go through that hole and won't get moved side to side. You'll want to pull out your USB stick if you are transferring any designs to the machine from your computer, so anything from a CD can be put on this. Sometimes what we do at the store is we even kind of just link that around the handle, and then it will plug in on the side with no problem, and then they don't get misplaced. If you do find that having a computer is easier for you next to your machine, you can use the free software you download from HusqvarnaViking.com. The complimentary software will allow you the connectivity to send designs from your computer directly to the machine by connecting on this side. So those are very handy to have. You have 3 hoops with your machine. The largest is the 360 by 200. Now there's one more larger that you can get for this machine. It is called the Majestic hoop, so it's even bigger. It's a double wide, as I call it. So it actually is amazing. Oh, it's huge, okay? You also have what I would call a medium hoop. That one's going to be the 260 by 200. And then you also have a smaller hoop, the 120 by 120. Now there's a hoop that is 200 by 200. That's 8 by 8 inches. That is my first hoop that I tend to always recommend people to get. So if you need an extra hoop, look to that one. That is a nice middle size to use. In your box, you had the sampler booklet that's got all the designs shown that's on your machine. And then you also have in the back part is where the machine, let's see here, they're called the Classic Collection is what it's called. Classic Collection Sampler. Now these designs are not already on your machine. You do need to contact your local dealer for a special code, and you download these designs from the Husqvarna Viking website. Just click on the machine area, find the Designer Diamond Royale, and there'll be a link in there for the free software and the Classic Collection. Dealers, if you don't know where that code is, go to the dealer login. Log into your dealer account and on the website, go to the sewing machine section, look up Designer Diamond Royale, and down at the bottom there will be a section for the Classic Collection, and in there is the code to give to your customers. Another thing that I also recommend is, and you don't have to have it, but when I put threads on the machine, sometimes they just work better if they're on a thread stand. There's a couple different options. This is the one that's from Viking. It's a mega spool stand. It's just a single one. You can also get a multi version of this that attaches to the back of the machine. That's a nice one too. This one actually attaches to the vertical spool pin. So then that just goes on here, and your spool will go on and then go up to the top here and then down. Another one is if you have one of these, if you're going to get a separate one that sits beside your machine, get one with a metal base. Those plastic ones, they just roll around and fall off the edge of the table. So do find yourself with a thread stand. That will help with metallic threads and some threads that just are a little fussy. Now when we get going with our threading and winding a bobbin, I'm going to show you a little trick about putting bobbin thread on your Husqvarna Viking green bobbins, so there's a very little left once that sensor says you are out of bobbin. So it's a little trick that you want to take a look and watch, and you'll be happy that you know it as you go. So we're going to go ahead and get the machine set up, but those are the basic accessories that you should have at your fingertips prior to embroidering.